Hello, Mohammed. Are you ready for your interview? Yes, I am. So, tell me, how are you ready for grade 12 and how did you show creativity in SPI 3U? A memorable experience I went through in SPI 3U that leads me to believe that I'm ready for grade 12 is the understanding of Mendel's Punnett squares. Mendel's Punnett squares measure the probability or likelihood of a genetic outcome of a phenotype or a genotype based on a specific genetic cross. At the time this concept was introduced, I had a hard time understanding it. For example, a question I had a hard time understanding was a homozygous wolf with blue eyes mates with a heterozygous wolf with brown eyes. What is the probability that they will produce a wolf with blue eyes? What is the phenotypical and genotypical ratio? Firstly, I would always get confused on how to represent a homozygous and heterozygous trait with letters through the steps the textbook provided. I would never get the answer right until I tweaked the square for the benefit of my learning. For example, I used a highlighter to highlight the dominant allele B, red, and the recessive trait little b, blue. Secondly, I taught myself the meaning of homozygous and heterozygous. I taught myself the meaning of these words by branching them off. Homo means the same, which means you'll have two dominant alleles, or if it's homozygous recessive, then two recessive alleles. And hetero means different, which means you'll have one dominant allele and one recessive. Thirdly, I used arrows and circles to pair them up. Using these tweaks and adaptations, I was able to successfully understand the concept. So, Mohammed, what would you do differently in this situation? Something I would do differently in this situation would be to ask for help. Hard to admit, I was a little shy and embarrassed to ask for help, but asking for help isn't a weakness, but a sign of strength. It shows you have the courage to admit when you don't know something and to learn something new. This is what this experience taught me. And through this experience, I showed creativity by showing the ability to think about Punnett squares in a new or different way. I used my imagination to generate a new method to benefit my learning. Those with creativity skills are people who think of new ideas and better ways of doing things so that make it a lot easier, and as the scale of difficulty progresses in grade 12, this will be extremely beneficial. Enough talk about these Punnett squares. Tell me, Mohammed, what is another memorable experience that you had in the squad? Another memorable experience I had in the squad, and really the entirety of the pandemic, was being more digitally fluent. An experience that showcases this is the example of Kingdom Cards from the Diversity of Life unit. We were tasked to create trading cards about different kingdoms and write the most information we could about them. This was very difficult since I had little space to write all this information in. To be digitally fluent, you need to be able to use a wide range of information and confidently express it to other people. For all my trading cards to be effective, I needed to synthesize the information I gathered so it can fit in the trading cards and it'd be easy to understand. So what did you learn in this situation? Mohammed, hello? Can you hear me?